Police! Search for...
More than a year on from his dramatic arrest in May last year, former All White Clayton Lewis was this week sentenced for his role in an A-League spot-fixing scheme. The midfielder was sentenced to a 2-year community release order, avoiding a formal conviction. He was sentenced alongside his former Macarthur FC teammate and co-accused, Kieran Backus. While the pair's permanent record may remain unblemished, Detective Superintendent Peter Foe, who heads up the New South Wales Police's organised crime squad, says the fallout from the case will linger.
The sporting codes will always take a knock in the short term around this type of incident, but they move on. But for the individuals who participate in these type of things and are prosecuted, I think it's detrimental to their careers, their profile. So it's a clear message that you probably shouldn't be, being a part of this type of stuff.
How about the pass from Lewis?
Lewis and Backus admitted in July that they had deliberately conceded yellow cards to enable illegal gambling on Macarthur matches. The Crown alleges the pair were acting under the instruction of the team's captain, Ulysses Davia.
That co-accused was a conduit to some people in South America who were betting on these manipulation within the games, and we allege that that approached a number of players within the team, recruiting them to pay them to receive yellow cards, so that act within the game could be betted on in North America and Europe.
It's here at Allianz Stadium in Sydney's inner suburbs that in December 2023, the wheels were set in motion for Clayton Lewis's stunning downfall. In the 51st minute of Macarthur's match against Sydney FC, Lewis drew a yellow card after shoving an opponent. It was this act that saw him pocket $10,000, but it would come at the expense of his career. Behind the scenes, alarm bells were ringing at gambling agency Watchdogs, which had picked up unusual betting patterns on Macarthur FC yellow cards.
Even if people are betting on Australian sport in South America or Europe, unfortunately it's highly likely that they could come to the attention of those oversight bodies, and they bring it to our attention, and then we start investigating it. So it's a really good example of it's high risk for these professional sports people if they want to participate in acts like this.
The case is considered one of Australia's biggest corruption scandals, but Foe believes it's only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the influence of organised crime in sport.
Organised crime will always try and exploit professional sports where there's betting opportunities, and especially matters like this where the players can be recruited because they don't necessarily think that their act will influence the outcome of the game for their teammates. But this type of betting is an issue where it's spot betting, so they specifically bet on incidents to occur within the game rather than the outcome of the game. So it's a lot easier to conceal, and the players don't necessarily feel it's a bad thing because they don't think they're impacting the outcome of the games as such.
The investigation has been watched closely by sports officials in New Zealand. Rebecca Rolls, Chief Executive of the Sport Integrity Commission, says the case has been a wake-up call for the sector.
And as unfortunate as it is, I hope it has woken up some of the, not so much just the athletes, but some of the administrators of sport around. And again, that's a league that might have previously been classed as maybe not as high risk because they're fairly well paid. So you think about all the athletes who are paid less and officials who are pretty vulnerable as well. And then I think the links to organised crime are really obvious in that case as well. There's links all over the world, and those can be much harder to investigate as well because of access to information and that kind of thing.
And do you think there's enough recognition from athletes that if they match fix or involve in competition manipulation, that it's not just against the rules of sport, but potentially criminal behaviour as well? Do you think people understand that?
No, not at all. I mean, there was an adjustment made to the Crimes Act in 2015 when we hosted the Cricket World Cup. You'll be aware of that. And that's a very small change, and that's the only piece in criminal legislation. But I guarantee most athletes don't know about that, so they don't know it is actually a crime.
While the legal process is over, Lewis still faces a fight for his career. The court heard last week that Football Australia has served the Kiwi midfielder with a show cause notice and is seeking to impose a lifetime ban from the sport. Regardless of the outcome, Lewis's lawyer says the saga will indelibly follow him for the rest of his life.